Hello and welcome to how to create a Dropbox assignment using turnitin.com and a grading rubric. So first I have my pilot shell open here, and you can use Dropbox if you wish in order to have students drop off many different types of files and different assignment types. So first I have to create my Dropboxes for my weeks. So I'm going to go to this assessment tab and the drop down arrow here and select Dropbox. Okay, and then I already have week 1 Dropbox up here, so I'm going to start with week 2. I'm going to hit new folder. Once it loads, you're going to want to label it. Week number 2 Dropbox. All right, ungraded, I'm going to make it 20 points. I'm going to link it, make sure it's linked in my gradebook. Week 2 Dropbox, which is what I covered in my last video. If you need to know how to do that, go ahead and scroll up on my page. Now I'm going to go over here to evaluation and feedback, and I'm going to go to this bottom part down here and select manage Turnitin. So turnitin.com is our integration for plagiarism detection. So I'm going to go ahead and enable it, which contacts the system to turn it on. And I'm going to say automatically sync grades as drafts, and then I'm going to enable originality check for this folder, and I'm going to allow the learners to see their similarities in the Dropbox folder. So automatic originality checking on all submissions, and I'm going to go ahead and save on this page and then hit save and close over here. Perfect. And now you can see it is linked in gradebook and the Turnitin is on and enabled. So I'm going to go ahead and do that a few more times. If you understand how to do this and you don't need to watch at this point, you can go ahead and fast forward the video. So for this one, I didn't have it already created, so I had to link it to the grade category, and I will go back and add it in the gradebook later. But I'm still doing all of the same things, enabling everything, making sure that it's automatically transferring, allowing learners to check it. It's important to allow learners to check it so that they know how close they were, just as a plagiarism detection tool. Especially if they're creating their own works. All right, so now I have all 5 Dropboxes linked and created. So now I need to create my electronic grading rubric. So up at the top here, I'm going to go to Course Admin /Tools. And then I'm going to look down and scroll down until I find Rubrics under Assessment. All right, so I don't have anything created yet, and I could search if I had rubrics already created, but I don't. So I have to create one. So I'm going to do a new rubric, and I'm just going to label it rubric number 1, so that I have a rubric here. If I look up here under the status, it's going to be published, archived, or draft, and I want it to be published automatically. The type, I'm going to change it to an analytic rubric because I want my learners to understand what they are doing wrong. And I'm going to have 4 levels, and I want 4 criteria here. So I have 1, I'm going to say 2, 3, 4. And on my levels, I have one that's worth 4, 3, 2, and then 1 point, depending on how well the student is scoring. That way the student can get specific feedback for the work that they are creating and assigning. So I'm just going to say, let's see, level 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let's go with did not understand. Showed some understanding. Understand but needs some revision, and understood to the highest level. So this is just something that I use in my classroom. You can use it however you want. So criteria is going to be what you are grading actually on. So the criteria is different than the information in the levels. So the criteria is going to be like on the conventions is always something that I use. So using correct conventions in English language. And this is just kind of shorthand to show you guys what it's like. So correct conventions, if they understood it completely, they used correct conventions throughout the writing. So this would be using punctuation, capitalization, proper grammar. So like under the did not understand, I would say many errors or mistakes in using correct conventions. And then I fill in, showed some like few errors. All right, so this is kind of how my scale would go. And then when a student would type up a writing and then insert it and turn it in, I could then add individual feedback down here. So maybe they made some mistakes, but did have some understanding. I could say, showed that you understood capital letters, but did not understand how to put punctuation marks at the end of sentences, so that the students would then be able to get that feedback. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pause actually creating the rubric so you guys can see what I'm doing here. The scoring I did want to be points. You could customize it as well. And then I'm going to actually scroll all the way down here at the bottom and make sure everything looks good here. There is another option down here that you could make sure it's visible or not visible to different students. I am going to say that it's visible so that they can actually see what they are doing. And I like it like that. And you can see up here that it is saved automatically. Obviously, I would fill in the rest of the rubric in order to get it, but this is what I'm going to do for the sake of this video. All right, so now you can have rubric number 1. It's analytic, it's through points, and it is currently published. So in order to link this to the graded item, I have to apply it. So I'm going to go back to grades up here on the top navbar. All right, so let's just say I want this for my writing. I'm going to go ahead and click into my week 1 writing assignment. I'm going to scroll down until I see add rubric. Right now I don't have any selected. And then this is where I can select rubric number 1. I can add the selected rubric, and then I can hit save and close. Now I want to make sure that the rubric is listed here. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to double check here, writing, week 1, rubric, perfect. It is attached and we are good to go. Save and close. So that is how you want to create a rubric and then attach it to your assignment in Dropbox. Thank you for listening and have a great day.